The facade of luxury, a secret beneath the roses. For decades, the Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, was the jewel of American high society. Dubbed America's Resort, its towering white columns, 4,450 acres of lush greenery, and iconic floral wallpaper created by Dorothy Draper hosted presidents, royalty, and Hollywood legends. Since the 18th century, the elite have flocked here to escape the bustle of Washington, D.C., bathe in the sulfur springs, and experience the pinnacle of Southern hospitality. It is a place for tea parties, championship golf, and tuxedo dinners. But beneath the immaculate lawns and vibrant rhododendrons of the north entrance lay a secret that even the most influential guests were unaware of. While world leaders discussed diplomacy in the upstairs ballrooms, just 60 feet below unfolded a world of cold concrete, steel doors, and a terrifying atmosphere. The reality of the end of the world. In the late 1950s, as the Cold War reached its peak and the threat of nuclear annihilation became a daily topic of conversation at the White House, the Eisenhower administration became aware of a devastating truth. If Washington, D.C. were struck by a Soviet missile, the American government would cease to exist in seconds. They needed a Plan B. They needed a location close enough to the capital for a rapid evacuation, yet far enough away to withstand a direct hit. They needed a fortress that could remain hidden from view. The solution was an agreement shrouded in the utmost secrecy. In 1958, the Greenbrier announced a massive expansion, the construction of a new wing dubbed the West Virginia Wing. To the public and hotel guests, it simply meant more luxurious spaces, additional meeting rooms, and a new exhibition hall. The construction was noisy and constant, but in a complex of this scale, no one questioned the weight of the trucks or the incredible amount of concrete being poured. What the guests didn't know was that for every square meter built above ground, workers were digging ever deeper into the mountain. Under the guise of a national defense project, the government was constructing a bunker of over 10,400 square meters, a veritable underground survival city. Its code name, Project Greek Island. For the next 30 years, the Greenbrier operated like a double agent. Above ground, it was a five-star paradise. Underground lay the seat, ready to be sealed, of the United States Congress. The two worlds were separated only by a few layers of brick and a secret guarded by a hand-picked team of technicians disguised as hotel TV repairmen. Picture the scene: a senator enjoying a steak in the main dining room, unaware that just beneath his chair lay a dormitory with his name inscribed on a bunk bed, awaiting the day the sirens would wail. This is the story of the greatest architectural lie in American history. A place where the American dream met the nightmare of the apocalypse, concealed beneath a facade of luxury. Greek Island Project, the secret underground city. To grasp the magnitude of the Greek Island Project, one must stop thinking of it as a mere bunker and see it for what it truly was: a fully functional underground capital of the United States. Concealed behind the West Virginia wing of the Greenbrier, this 10,400 square meter fortress was designed to accommodate up to 1,100 people at a moment's notice. It was not simply a shelter, it was a veritable refuge for the entirety of the American legislative branch. Its layout was a masterpiece of Cold War engineering. It included separate dormitories for each member of the House of Representatives and the Senate. But these were not luxurious suites. Although located beneath a five-star hotel, the delegates slept on metal bunk beds in Spartan, cramped rooms, a stark reminder that in the event of a nuclear winter, social status matters little when survival is at stake. At the heart of the bunker were two immense meeting rooms, the exhibition room and the governor's room. To the hotel guests upstairs, these appeared to be ordinary conference rooms, used for trade shows and banquets. In reality, they were the secret chambers of the House and Senate. The walls were reinforced with a 60-centimeter thick layer of concrete, and the ventilation systems were equipped with high-efficiency particulate filters designed to eliminate radioactive fallout. But a government needs more than just a meeting place. It needs to be operational. The Greek Island project had its own power plant, with enormous diesel generators and enough fuel to run for weeks. It was equipped with an incinerator for waste disposal, and chillingly could serve as a crematorium if needed. It also housed a fully equipped medical clinic, including an operating room and a pharmacy stocked with enough antibiotics and potassium iodide to treat 1,000 people for months. Food supply was another logistical feat. The bunker's cafeteria, called the dietary section, was designed to serve 3,000 meals a day. For 30 years, the government maintained a rotating stock of frozen and freeze-dried food, constantly replenished to ensure continuous supply. In the event of a bombing, a fresh meal would be waiting for the survivors. Perhaps the most fascinating feature was the path of history. This long corridor connected the bunker to the main hotel. Thousands of tourists passed through it each year, admiring the historical photographs hanging on the walls, completely unaware of the presence behind those same walls of 18 massive steel-armored doors. The largest weighed 25 tons, yet their balance was so perfect that a single person could open them, provided they knew the location of the latch concealed behind the elegant wallpaper. For 30 years, a small team of technicians, working in utmost secrecy, operated from a shell company called Forsyth Associates. To the hotel staff, they were simply television repairmen and telephone line maintenance technicians. In reality, they were government agents who spent their days monitoring radiation detectors, testing water purification systems, and ensuring that the secret city remained on high alert. For 30 years, every day, we checked the light switches, made the beds, and tested the phones. The Greek Island project was a sleeping giant, breathing silently beneath the feet of vacationing families, waiting for a phone call from Washington that would change the world forever. Life after the bomb, the 48-hour protocol. Imagine, it's October 22, 1962, in the midst of the Cuban Missile Crisis. In Washington, the red phone rings, sirens wail across the Capitol. For the 535 members of Congress, the protocol is chillingly simple. Get to the Greenbrier, quickly. Under the guise of a national emergency exercise or an emergency military transport, a fleet of helicopters and specialized buses would have raced toward the mountains of West Virginia. Upon arrival at the resort, these men and women, the leaders of the free world, would not have been greeted in the majestic lobby adorned with crystal chandeliers. They would have been ushered through a secret entrance, bypassing the reception desk, and plunged directly into the concrete bowels of the earth. The first 48 hours after the explosion would have been a descent into hell, a perfectly orchestrated nightmare. As soon as the armored doors, those massive 25-ton steel doors, were opened, chaos would have ensued. These bunkers were behemoths. Once closed, the link to the outside world would be severed. Inside, the air would change abruptly, filtered by immense charcoal scrubbers designed to trap the radioactive dust that was already settling on the rose gardens 20 meters above. The absolute priority was decontamination. Every senator, every representative, and every essential staff member would have been forced to undergo a series of chemical showers. Their Brooks Brothers suits and designer gowns, symbols of their power, would be confiscated and burned in the bunker's incinerator. In their place, they would be issued identical, plain coveralls. Inside the bunker, there were no Republicans or Democrats. They were only survivors. The psychological shock would have been devastating. As the world they knew vanished, they would be confined to their metal bunks. The noise would be incessant, the drone of enormous diesel generators, the rhythmic pounding of the ventilation system, and the frantic clicking of teletype machines trying to connect to other bunkers across the country. In the governor's bunker, in the main room, the newly convened Congress would have to face its first terrifying task, determining whether there was still a country left to govern. Seated in their respective places, they would gaze at the same wallpaper as in the hotel's meeting rooms, but now the windows were fake, lit by fluorescent tubes to mimic the daylight that no longer existed outside. The cafeteria would resume its grim service, serving freeze-dried meals on plastic trays. The infirmary would be on high alert, preparing for the inevitable cases of radiation sickness among those who didn't arrive in time. All the inhabitants of the project's Greek island would live on borrowed time, breathing recycled air and waiting for surface radiometers to tell them when or if they would ever see the sun again. It was a masterpiece of planning, but also a gilded cage, a place where the American government would await the end of the world in a silent concrete tomb. The 25-ton wallpaper, the art of disguise. The most incredible feat of Project Greek Island wasn't its size or its survival systems, it was its invisibility. For 30 years, from 1962 to 1992, the Greenbrier hosted millions of guests, including world leaders and celebrities, who walked right past the entrance of America's most secret bunker without ever suspecting its existence. This was the art of the lie, a masterpiece of camouflage hidden behind layers of luxury. To achieve this, the government used a strategy known as hiding in plain sight. The bunker's main entrance was located in the West Virginia wing, a part of the hotel that appeared entirely normal. The massive steel blast doors, designed to withstand a nuclear shockwave, were not hidden behind secret stone walls or moving bookcases. Instead, they were covered in the exact same vibrant floral wallpaper that decorated the rest of the hotel. These doors, some weighing as much as 25 tons, were so perfectly flush with the wall and so expertly balanced that they disappeared into the decor. A guest could lean against a door that could stop a nuclear blast while waiting for an elevator, thinking they were just touching a beautiful wall. But the disguise went deeper than just wallpaper. The bunker's vast interior spaces were cleverly integrated into the hotel's daily operations. The two main legislative chambers, the rooms meant for the House and Senate, were used as the hotel's regular exhibit hall and governor's hall. During the day, they were filled with business conferences, car shows, and banquets. Thousands of people stood on the very floors where the survivors of the apocalypse were supposed to govern, never knowing that the walls were 2 feet of reinforced concrete or that behind the curtains lay decontamination showers. Then there was the problem of the staff. How do you maintain a massive underground power plant, a surgical clinic, and thousands of meals without the hotel employees noticing? The solution was a shell company called Forsyth Associates. These men were officially contracted as the hotel's audiovisual and television repair team. They wore hotel uniforms, carried toolboxes, and had their own workshop. To the maids and waiters, they were just the TV guys who were always busy in the basement. In reality, they were government technicians who spent their days testing radiation sensors and ensuring the diesel generators were ready to roar to life at a moment's notice. Even the logistics of waste and air were disguised. The bunker's ventilation shafts were hidden inside the resort's brick chimneys, and the massive amount of trash and human waste generated during maintenance was surreptitiously integrated into the hotel's disposal system. For 3 decades, the secret was held by a tiny circle of trust. The hotel's management knew, the TV guys knew, and a handful of top-level officials in Washington knew. But for everyone else, the guests, the staff, and the local community of White Sulphur Springs, the Greenbrier was just a luxury resort. It was a perfect illusion, proving that in America, the deepest secrets aren't always buried in the desert or hidden behind barbed wire. Sometimes they're right in front of you, disguised as a floral pattern on a wall, waiting for a day that everyone hoped would never come.
The leak that ended it all. The death of a secret. For 30 years, the silence surrounding Project Greek Island was absolute. It had survived the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Vietnam War, and the fall of the Berlin Wall. But in the early 1990s, the greatest threat to the bunker wasn't a Soviet missile. It was a persistent investigative journalist named Ted Gupp. Working for the Washington Post, Gupp had heard whispers of a high-level government relocation site in the mountains of West Virginia. He began to pull on the threads, starting with the mysterious Forsyth Associates. Why did a luxury hotel need a massive team of TV repairmen who never seemed to leave the basement? Why did the resort consume enough electricity and water for a small city even during the off-season? As Gupp dug deeper, he encountered a wall of silence. Government officials denied everything. The hotel management remained tight-lipped, but the physical evidence was undeniable. Gupp traveled to White Sulphur Springs and began interviewing local residents and former hotel employees. He heard stories of men in suits arriving in the middle of the night, of massive deliveries of food that never appeared on the hotel menus, and of a secret wing that felt more like a fortress than a guest house. Finally, on May 31, 1992, the hammer fell. The Washington Post magazine published a cover story that sent shockwaves through the halls of power. The ultimate congressional hideaway. The secret was out. The floral wallpaper had been stripped away, and the 25-ton doors were now visible to the entire world. The reaction from the government was one of fury and panic. Within hours of the publication, the Department of Defense officially decommissioned the site. A secret bunker is only useful if it remains a secret. The moment the location was printed on a newspaper, it became a useless target. The betrayal felt by the government was immense. They argued that the leak had compromised national security and wasted hundreds of millions of taxpayers' dollars. But for the public, the revelation was a moment of profound realization. The people discovered that while they were being told to duck and cover in their basements, their leaders had built a subterranean palace of survival, hidden behind a facade of five-star luxury. The era of Project Greek Island ended as abruptly as it began. The technicians of Forsyth Associates packed their bags. The classified equipment was hauled away in unmarked trucks. The thousands of frozen meals and survival kits were liquidated. Almost overnight, the bunker went from a high-stakes command center to a hollow, concrete ghost town. The greatest architectural lie in American history was over, leaving behind a massive, empty space beneath the rhododendrons, a monument to a time when the end of the world was just a heartbeat away.
In conclusion, modern shelters and the lingering secrecy. Today, Greenbrier's secret is no longer hidden. The once classified corridors of Project Greek Island are open to the public and have become a tourist attraction. You can walk through the armored doors, touch the metal bunks where senators were supposed to sleep, and see the pharmacy that was once stocked in anticipation of the apocalypse. But as you stand in these cold concrete rooms, a nagging question begins to take shape. If the government was willing to go this far in the 1960s, where is it hiding now? The dismantling of the Greenbrier bunker in 1992 did not mean that the government had stopped preparing for the end of the world. It simply meant that it had become more adept at concealing it. After 9/11 and now in 2026, the concept of continuity of government has become even more sophisticated and secretive. Experts point to Mount Weather in Virginia and the Raven Rock Mountain Complex in Pennsylvania as the modern successors to the Greek Island project. Fortresses carved into granite, shielded against electromagnetic pulses, and capable of operating for years without contact with the surface. But these are the sites we know of. The Greenbrier legacy teaches us that the most important secrets are rarely found where we expect them. They aren't always behind barbed wire or in remote deserts. They could be hidden beneath the shopping malls we frequent, the airports we fly from, or the luxury hotels where we vacation. Hidden America isn't just a place on a map, it's a reality that exists just beneath the surface of our everyday lives. The Greenbrier bunker remains a monument to a time of global fear, but it also stands as a testament to human ingenuity and the lengths a nation can go to in order to ensure its survival. It reminds us that history often falls into two categories: the world we see and the world that is constructed for us. As you leave the white columns of the Greenbrier and travel through the rolling hills of West Virginia, you might be tempted to look a little further. Take a close look at the next construction site or utility building you pass, because in a country as vast and complex as the United States, you never really know what lies beneath your feet. The secrets of the past have been revealed, but those of the present are still to be discovered. Thank you for exploring this little-known chapter of history with us. If you'd like to uncover more of America's best-kept secrets, click like and subscribe. Welcome to Best Hidden America, where the truth always runs deeper than it seems. Join us again next time to explore a new and untold story from this country we think we know.